Hey guys, what is going on? So the other day I made a video about Anita Sarkeesian and how she got her hands on The Last of Us, and a lot of people were a little bit confused as to why I disliked her a lot. A couple of my friends messaged me and they didn't really know who she was, and they were confused as to why I was like so against her having any involvement in The Last of Us. So I thought, for those of you that don't know, I will explain who Anita Sarkeesian is, why I dislike her so much, and why it bothered me so much that she was a part of The Last of Us. So to begin with, Anita Sarkeesian is a Canadian feminist media critic, blogger and public speaker. She also runs a YouTube channel called Feminist Frequency, where she regularly uploads content around sexism in video games and gives anecdotal, keyword there, anecdotal evidence to support her claims. But a little bit of research will basically show you why this woman is lying to you and wasting your time, literally wasting your time. Just for context sake, I'm not going to rip anyone's clips from anyone else's YouTube channel, which is something that Anita is actually really good at, which we'll get into later. And instead, I encourage you all to go and fact check every single thing that I'm saying. Don't take my word for it. Everything you hear me say about this woman and anyone else in this video, go and fact check it for yourself. I don't want to rip anyone else's video, anyone else's content. I'm not really about that. And if I ever do that, then I will always give credit to the user or the content creator, or at least ask for their permission. So to begin, Anita has claimed several times that she has been playing video games for most of her life. Again, a little research will basically show you that that is a lie. Back in 2010, when she was speaking in front of a group of people about a soundtrack remix she had made, and the soundtrack was from a video game, so she had remixed a video game soundtrack. She turned around to these people and said this is a first for her. She's not a fan of video games, she's new to the fandom, and it's something that she had to do a lot of research on before she actually did it. Now bear in mind, Anita Sarkeesian claims that she has always been a fan of video games. After this 2010 video went up where she was saying that she didn't really know the fandom, she had to do loads of research on it. She had then gone on to change her story and say in around 2012, where she was getting a lot of traction and a lot of attention for her views on video games, that she had always been a gamer and she always loved video games. Let's bear in mind, Anita was born in 1983, right? Which means that by 2010 she would have been 27 years old. And that would have been at the time she said she wasn't a fan of video games, which means even today in 2020 she still wouldn't have been playing video games for the majority of her life. For the majority of her life she didn't know jack shit about video games, and that much is evident when you realize that a lot of the footage she claims she captured on her Elgato, which is what I use to capture my video games, is actually taken from other YouTubers that she didn't even bother to credit. And again, if you don't believe me, there's loads of YouTube channels out there that prove it. I don't want to rip anyone's footage, go out there and look at it for yourself, but she does not record her own video game content, and it's all over her channel. She's probably removed some videos here and there, but people have taken those clips before they'd been taken down, and you can go see it for yourself. Essentially, the video game industry put her on the map, and that's why she decided to start covering them. That's basically it. It's not because she had a love for the industry or anything even close to that. It's because she had found her niche that would essentially pay her bills, and that's what it is. It's paying her bills. This is what got her on the map, nothing else. She may have had a name before this, but she wasn't what she is now. Video games put her on the map, and that is why she stuck to it. Now, it would be one thing to want to comment on video games and move into working within the industry because it's fun no matter what you're doing, whether you're commenting on stuff like I do, whether you're making games, whether you work in the events industry. The gaming industry is a fun place to be for the most part. But to lie and make out like you've been down with gamers since day one should already tell you where I'm going to go with this video. This woman is full of shit. She literally talks shit constantly. Now I'm going to give you guys just a few examples, and again I want you guys to fact check this, don't take my word for it, but I'm going to give you a few examples of Anita has just completely misrepresented the situation on her videos to pander to her audience and further her own idiotic agendas. It's also important to note that Anita has disabled the comment section on her Feminist Frequency page on YouTube, so you can't actually go and debate with her. You can't exactly go and challenge her on her views, and it's obvious why she does that, because she talks a lot of shit. But anyway, back to the examples. Anita once claimed that Toadette from Super Mario games, you know the little pink character, the little toad from the Mushroom Kingdom, she claimed that that was the only female character amongst the mushroom race, which further proves that she doesn't know what the hell she is talking about. Now there's a YouTube channel called Nate Talks to You, which I actually went and watched before I did this video. I wanted to gather a bit more information on her. And Nate Talks to You managed to cite 9 other female mushroom characters and pointed out more as well. So exactly where did Anita get those numbers from? Where did she get that Toadette was the only female character in the Mushroom Kingdom? Where's she getting that information from? I'll tell you where she's getting the information from. She has reached right over into her ass and pulled it out, because it's a lie. It's not true. And the reason that she disables her comment section is because you're gonna have people that blindly follow her. They see Feminist Frequency in the title and they think, oh, this woman, she's the messiah. She's here looking out for me. But that's not the case. She disables the comment section because people would pull her up on her bullshit constantly. She's not a messiah. She's not here for you women. She is a liar, and she's only furthering her own agenda and putting money in her pocket, and that's it. She knows full well the internet does not rest. If you lie on the internet, they will get you. They will get you. She'll get pulled up on her bullshit every time she puts something out, and she knows that. She did the exact same thing with the Hitman game, where she claimed the game encourages you to go after strippers and beat the shit out of them. Now, for anyone that has played the Hitman games, I know you're looking at the screen right now, scratching your head thinking, when did the game ask me to beat the shit out of an unsuspecting random stripper? Well, don't worry, you're not going mad. It didn't ask you to do that. Anita took a snippet of the game where a player was seen attacking 2 strippers, which had absolutely nothing to do with the mission the player was on, and then went on to say that the game lets you treat them as if they're things. But what she doesn't mention is that you can literally do that to anyone in the game, and the consequences are exactly the same. Male or female makes no difference. She makes out like players just can't help but treat females as objects and things that must be acted upon. You guys already know that shit you do on a mission on Hitman is optional. You can beat the shit out of anyone. You can beat the shit out of security guards in the strip mall. You can beat the shit out of strippers if you want. But the game rewards you for being stealthy. It encourages you to be stealthy and not go on the attack. This is along the same lines as when people, SJWs or feminists or the feminazis, I don't even want to say feminists because I don't want to paint them all with the same brush. It's just the people that support her and the people that follow her and spread this sort of these lies and nonsense. They'll say stuff like, oh, in GTA it promotes you shooting and running over women, when in reality you can shoot and run over anyone and the consequences are the same. You get stars pop up on your screen and the police chase you down. The only time the stars become more intense is when you shoot a police officer or attack a police officer. But no matter what, if you hurt someone, the police come after you. Honestly, like, the amount of shit that flies out of this woman's mouth is unreal. One of the funniest things she has ever said was when she claimed that women are treated as damsels in distress and often beg for their deaths, saying thank you to their male killers as their life is taken from them. Oh my god, you know, that is such a super wild thing to say, and it makes it sound like this doesn't happen to male characters. It makes it sound as if there are not parts of video games where male characters are on their knees saying please just kill me. Have you not ever heard that before? As if that doesn't always happen to male characters, and it happens with female characters doing it to them. I don't even want to spoil games for you, but I can literally list off tons of them. I'll pick one old one that most people have played by now. The Walking Dead Season 1, the Telltale game. At the end of the game, it's a man asking to be killed by a female protagonist. What? She's just talking out of her ass again. Anita then goes on to make claims that how women are treated in games will go on to affect how women are treated in the real world, which is, again, it just makes no goddamn sense, since studies have proven otherwise multiple times. Literally every time some politician or half-baked activist like Anita says some dumb shit like this, it gets proven otherwise. She claims that it reinforces the idea that women are sexual objects and playthings for a man's amusement. When? What are you talking about? So does that mean that that also counts for violence as well? They've made that argument 100 times, and 100 times it's been unfounded by numerous studies and thrown out of courts. Courts have thrown it out. The UN threw out the bullshit statistics and numbers that Anita and one of her co-workers came with. They published the article and they threw it out because they found it was a bunch of bogus lies. It was cited from bogus websites. A study from the Cyber Psychology, Behavior and Social Networking Journal found and showed that playing video games, any video games, does not actually make you more sexist, nor does it make you more violent. If anyone remembers Jack Thompson, he claimed that video games make you more violent, and yet a ton of the studies came out to prove otherwise, and he was silenced as well. And actually, if you look into it, since video games have been on the rise, violence has actually decreased. And again, please fact check what I'm saying. Fact check what I'm saying if you don't believe me, but violence has decreased since video games have been on the rise. It has not increased. But it's not just sexism that Anita deals with in video games, it's everything else. She has to get her hands in all the pies. And these social justice warriors inflate this woman's ego when they say things like going to Africa to fight a parasite outbreak if Resident Evil is racist. Yeah, it's in Africa. The outbreak takes place in Africa. So what? Didn't the other games in Resident Evil take place in other parts of the world like America and Asia and Spain? Now what the hell is wrong with these people? This level of anecdotal talking points is actually, it's insane. It's crazy. Like, did these guys forget how to have fun? Do they have to dissect every single game to the point where they're just talking crap. Like, I understand these guys need to put food on their families' plates, but do you have to lie to this extent? Do you have to lie to this extent? Now, The Witcher 3, it came under fire as well when it came out, because people were saying that it's got an all-white cast. Yet these people that began criticizing the game failed to mention that The Witcher is developed by a Polish gaming studio, was written by a Polish man who based the games on Polish mythology. So since when was it racist to do something like that? What, like just like fuck your nation? Is that basically what they're saying? You're taking a game that's from Poland, you bring it over to America or the UK, you don't like the fact that it's representative of Poland, and then you start shitting on it. God forbid we watch a Bollywood film or play a game from India and all the actors or all the characters are Indian. Oh, can you imagine the horror? Can you imagine? This constant attacking of, oh, this game is too white, this game is sexist. Oh, just get this shit out of our video games. You people and your moaning and complaining is enough to drive anyone batshit crazy. And I know that I'm moaning and complaining right now, but I'm giving a bit of context because some people were not aware why I was upset that Anita Sarkeesian, whatever stupid name is, man, I hate saying her last name. People were not aware why I wasn't happy with her getting her hands on The Last of Us or Naughty Dog liking this woman's work. I don't know how you can, especially when she's been proven to be a liar 100 times. I'm literally proving it right now. Go and look up everything I'm saying. Guarantee you're gonna find this woman is just full of shit. You guys, you just don't know left from right. And I'm not talking to my audience. People that watch my videos, they tend to be people that I would sit and have a conversation with, even people that I disagree with. I've never come across a comment on my video where someone said something nasty or disgusting. I would talk to every single person that comments on my videos that I've met. I haven't had an issue with that. Yet this woman, she puts these stupid views out there and then she disables the comments on her videos. Why do you think that is? Because she knows full well the internet are gonna rip her to shit because she's talking nonsense. Let people write the stories they want to write, and if you don't like them, go somewhere else or come up with your own shit. There's a bright idea. Come up with your own shit. You've got a platform, you've got money, people donated like $160,000 to your absolute horse shit. Just do your own thing. All these dimwits do is they try to police what developers put in their games when these developers are from other countries. Much like I said with The Witcher. If a game comes from Japan, it does not need to conform to the UK or US standard, and if you don't like it, don't play it. If you guys don't like how the Polish, Japanese or whoever do their games, then don't buy them, don't play them. It's really that simple. You can't make women sexy in games, you can't make them unattractive monsters, you can't have them commit acts of violence or have violence committed against them. There's literally no middle ground with these people. They don't know what they want, they just know that they want it now. This idea of censorship is actually just jarring to me. I could literally sit here for hours on end and rip into Anita and the people that support her and justify her borderline lunatic behavior, but I'd literally be here all day and I'd get nothing done. Anita and the people like her are not here to help steer the gaming industry to a more inclusive and fair place. They're here to leech off of it because that's how they make their money. Don't buy into her BS. She is no gamer, she never was, she never has been, she never will be. She's a parasite, and unfortunately she ain't going anywhere. Now, she may not be as relevant now, but she ain't going nowhere. And obviously because of the latest controversy with The Last of Us Part 2, you know, she's gonna stick around for a bit, but it's fine because I'm confident that this sort of BS is gonna come full circle. Shit like this always does. People like Anita, eventually they die out. She's gonna be around for a while, and she might always be there actually. She might never die out, but she's never gonna be as relevant as she used to be. You know, after the Gamergate thing, there's just no way. Because she lies so much, she doesn't have staying power. People are gonna speak with their wallets when The Last of Us Part 2 comes out, and I'm confident that the game is going to suffer, and I don't want it to suffer for no reason. Like, I don't want the game to just fail. I don't want any game to fail. I don't want the industry to collapse. But these companies, they need to stop siding with people like her, and they need to listen to their audience. At the end of the day, we're the ones that purchase their games and their content, and ultimately the customer keeps the studio alive. So let them mess up. We saw it with Ghostbusters and it's come full circle. Now the new Ghostbusters film, for those of you that haven't seen the new trailer, it actually looks pretty good. I think it was a teaser, but it actually looked pretty good. They think that gaming, for whatever reason, is exclusive to a boys club and that we want to exclude other people from joining in on the fun. I don't know where they got that from. That's a load of shit. We all know it's a load of shit. I literally have sat with so many of my female friends and introduced them to games that I want them to play, I want them to be a part of. I sat and I played Resident Evil 5 Co-op with my girlfriend. It was some of the most fun I've had with her. Like, it was so much fun. I got her to play Silent Hills, the PT, which was hilarious. Just seeing how terrified she was of the game was fun, and it's one of my favorite franchises. Silent Hills Hill is one of my favorite franchises, so to see her sit there and playing it was fun for me. I literally have a video on my channel. It's one of the first videos I uploaded. It's called Girls Play Silent Hills, where I sat down with a bunch of my female friends and I introduced them to that game, one of my favorite games. Now, would I do that if I didn't want females playing video games? No, I wouldn't. And after this Gamergate, a lot of these activists, they just sort of disappeared into the abyss. A lot of their channels stopped uploading. Up until this recent controversy with The Last of Us Part 2, nobody was speaking about Anita, nobody cared about her. And after sales are down with this game, which I'm confident is going to happen because people on the internet seem pretty upset, most people will go back to not caring about Anita again. And hopefully it will be another lesson for another studio to learn. But guys, that's all I've got to say about that. Now you know, I've given you a bit of context as to why I do not like this woman. Like I said, fact check every single thing I said. Until next time guys, peace.